As she walked into the school compound, everyone was mesmerized by her beauty. Heads turned, and everyone made a lovely remark about her beauty. Emma was the kind of girl who turned heads without effort. She has a smooth caramel skin that glows, sparkling bright eyes that held the word of kindness. She usually packed her hair in a bun, and her smile could brighten even the gloomiest days. She was admired by many. But what truly set her apart was her intelligence. She came from a humble home where hard work and honesty were the values her parents instilled in her. Despite their financial struggles, Emma excelled in her studies and made her family proud. At Springvale High School, an all-girls secondary school known for its high standards, she was among the top students. Teachers adored her, classmates respected her, and even those who envied her beauty and intelligence could not deny that she deserved every bit of her success. And one of those envious students was Vanessa. Unlike Emma, Vanessa was from a wealthy family, but she lacked Emma's brilliance and effortless charm. Over time, her admiration for Emma turned into jealousy. All the male teachers found themselves drawn to her. They couldn't help but appreciate her poise, her smooth caramel skin, her radiant smile, and the elegance with which she carried herself. But Emma, engrossed in her studies and her desire to succeed, remained oblivious to their admiration. One day, during a maths lesson, Mr. Johnson, the maths teacher, couldn't stop looking at Emma. Her bright eyes sparkled in the sunlight, and her smile was so bright that it made him forget what he was teaching. He started writing on the board without explaining the maths properly. Emma noticed he was distracted and raised her hands. "Mr. Johnson, please can you explain that again? I didn't understand," she said innocently. The sound of her voice brought him back to the lesson, and he quickly continued, feeling a little bit embarrassed. One afternoon, during break, after their classes, the girls sat under a mango tree, and Vanessa leaned closer to Emma and whispered, "Emma, why are you stressing yourself with all this reading? You are the most beautiful girl in this school. Use what you have to get what you want." "What do you mean?" Emma asked with confusion on her face. Vanessa smirked. "Don't act like you don't notice the way all the male teachers look at you in admiration. They can do anything for you, if only you let them." Emma shook her head. "That's not right, Vanessa." Vanessa rolled her eyes. "You are too naive. Brains won't get you far in this world, Emma. But your beauty, it will open doors you never imagined." Emma tried to resist the idea at first, but Vanessa was persistent. Slowly, doubt crept into her heart. Her mother often struggled to buy food. Her younger siblings lacked proper school supplies, and sometimes she wondered if all her effort would even pay off. Maybe Vanessa was right. The next few weeks felt like a blur to Emma. Every time she sat down to study, the sound of Vanessa's words echoed in her mind. Beauty will open doors. Was she really throwing her life away for books and grades that seemed to get her nowhere? She decided to try out what Vanessa told her and see how it goes. Maybe, just maybe, Vanessa had a point. The next morning, after staring at her reflection in the mirror for what felt like an eternity, she studied her beautiful skin, her bright eyes and lovely features. Emma, dressed in a way that highlighted her beauty, she threw her head down, picked up the makeup box given to her by Vanessa on her birthday. She has never used it before. She applied a little makeup, wore her school uniform, and headed for school. As she walked into the school compound, everyone was mesmerized by her beauty. Heads turned, and everyone made a lovely remark about her beauty. After school, she approached one of her male teachers, Mr. Clark, the biology teacher, who was known for his weakness for young girls. He was well liked by many of the students for his friendly nature. Emma pretended to struggle with a topic she had already mastered. "Mr. Clark, I don't understand this topic," Emma said, batting her eyelashes, playing the part of a helpless student. Mr. Clark leaned in closer to her with a soft voice and said, Emma, you are one of the brightest students I have. I am sure you will get it. But maybe I can explain to you better after school today. After that day, the game began for Emma. She started approaching other male teachers, who all fell for her charm. She became friends with them, and in return for her friendship, they offered her the answers to exam questions, bought her expensive gifts, and showered her with attention. Emma was no longer the diligent student she once was. She stopped studying and began relying on favors for her grades. She no longer needed to work hard or focus on her studies. Beauty had indeed opened doors, but at what cost? As Emma's life began to spiral, Vanessa watched from the sidelines. As the months passed, something unsettling began to stir inside Vanessa. She had won, but she wanted more. She wanted the whole school to see Emma as one who had been pretending all those while to be intelligent. One day, during a surprise oral examination in front of her classmates, Emma's true abilities were laid to bear. Mrs. Okafor, a respected teacher who had always believed in Emma's potentials, had quietly suspected Emma's sudden decline. When Emma failed to answer the simplest of questions, Mrs. Okafor knew something was wrong. The whole class stared in shock as Emma's usual confidence was no more. One afternoon, as Emma walked past the staff room, she overheard Mr. Thompson, one of the teachers she goes to for academic favors, planning something different, something completely inappropriate. I will lure her to a hotel and deal with her, he said to Mr. Ate as he chuckled. After you are done, please let me know so I can collect my own share, Mr. Ate replied. They both laughed darkly. Emma felt her face go pale in shock, mixed with confusion and fear. She quickly stepped away from the door, her mind racing. The trust she had in him shattered in an instant, and she knew she had to tell someone immediately. She ran through the school compound looking for Vanessa. Finally, she met Vanessa sitting with other girls under the tree. She called her aside and said, Vanessa, I'm in big trouble. You won't believe what Mr. Thompson is trying to do to me. He's trying to sleep with me. And what is wrong with that? Vanessa snapped. You have been receiving favors and exam answers from these teachers. Of course you must give them something in return. Nothing goes for nothing. Hearing those words, Emma was broken. She quietly walked away, crying, feeling very sad. Indeed, she has bitten more than she can chew. She didn't plan for all this. She was only having fun. And Vanessa, on the other hand, went back to the other girls and told them everything that Emma just told her. I knew there was something more to all those high grades, one said. So she has been pretending to be intelligent all along. And we are here, admiring her, not knowing she has been robbing the back of all the male teachers. Rubbish, the other girl contributed. Whispers of Emma's relationships with the male teachers started spreading like wildfire. After a few days, the school board, who had received multiple complaints about Emma's sudden withdrawal from academic activities and her mysterious rise in grades, launched an investigation. Emma and the teachers involved were called before the disciplinary board. Emma's parents were also summoned. The school had no choice than to expel her so she would not corrupt other students. Her father, who was once a proud man, sat with his head down, his eyes filled with shame. And her mother wept bitterly, her face pale from the humiliation. Her father's voice cracked as he spoke. How could you? We raised you better than this, Emma. The room was silent. The weight of her actions crushed her. With no other choice, Emma's parents registered her into another school in a different part of the town. Emma began to reflect on her mistakes. She had traded her integrity for temporary gains, and what she had lost was far more valuable. The lesson was clear. Beauty and charm could open doors, but true success comes from hard work and integrity. She felt the strength to rise again after her fall. And as Emma walked into the gates of her new school, she made up her mind to be the best student that will ever walk through the gates of that school. Thank you for watching. See you in my next story. Bye.